Farther?
Okay.
There we go.
Watch your team.
Okay.
Cool.
And if Daniel and Caleb, if you guys want to scoot up some more.
All right, Dane, just need you to take a deep breath, relax. What we're gonna do is just kind of shoot it one time, just kind of do a quick run through, just see how it goes, and then we'll do the real thing after that. Sound good?
Okay. It's actually hard for me to say this, but no longer do I want to follow in my dad's footsteps. The more years that pass, when I look in the mirror, I see more and more of my dad. It used to feel good when people would say they see a lot of my dad's qualities in me. But that's no longer the case. My dad, Chuck Warner, had a very poor and hard childhood. But he overcame it, and he went on to accomplish a lot of things. He was a Golden Gloves and All-Army boxing champion. After serving his country in the Army, he enrolled in Kansas State University, and he started an Elvis-style rock and roll band, which is how he met my mom, Eudora. One night while playing at a local club, even though my mom said she never went to places like that, my dad spotted her in the audience. On the next break, he went out to her table. It was my mom who spoke first. She said, "Mister, you get pretty wild up there." My dad replied, "Honey, you look like you could get pretty wild yourself." A few months later, they were married. My dad was always athletic and health-minded. He founded the Tulsa Football Oilers, a semi-pro football team that he owned and played for 2 years. He started the Jinx Quarterback Club and the T&T program, which stood for Tomorrow's New Trojans, both being flagship programs that were soon modeled across the state. He was a private pilot. He competed in triathlons. But most people around these parts knew him from the business that he and my mom developed, Boat Brokers Incorporated. They had boat dealerships in Tulsa, Oologah, and Grove. In 1975, they bought a small ranch out west of Nowata, and they downsized the boat business to a single location, also in Nowata, that operated there for nearly 40 years. Up to this point, it felt good when people would say, "I see your dad in you." But this is when things started to change. At the fairly young age of 67, my dad started developing Alzheimer's. I didn't know anything about Alzheimer's except you would start forgetting things. I never knew the cruel, ugly side of Alzheimer's. Depending upon the day, I'd watch my dad turn into a complete different, angry and evil man. I watched him say things and do things to my mom that were unbelievable, not remembering just an hour later he had done it. There was a point in my life I thought my dad might outlive me. He was always about eating right, staying in perfect health. But this cruel disease started taking a toll on his body as well as his mind. I've never been one that would blame God when bad things would happen. But the night he died, I cried out to God, saying, God, this wasn't fair. He did everything right. He did everything right. You know, when I first started talking, I said I didn't want to be like my dad any longer. But that's not true. I am proud of my dad. The day he died, I was at his bedside. He hadn't opened his eyes all day. He hadn't responded to anything. But I kept talking to him, wondering if he could hear me. But at one point, I said to my dad, Dad, I'm thinking about going down to the Y and swimming some laps. You want to go? He didn't open his eyes, but he smiled real big. And he said, son, that sounds good. I'm ready to go. He knew what he was saying. A few hours later, my mom was in with him. In what was his last clear moment, he opened his eyes and he looked at her and he asked her a question. By doing so, he showed his true love for her. And when he got his answer, he passed on. I am proud of my dad until his last breath. Alzheimer's does run in my family. I don't want my wife and family to go through this. But whatever God's plan is for me, I'll be proud to follow in my dad's footsteps. And that's that.
All right, good job. Let's do it for real this time.
Are the kids coming today? Or have they came and gone away? And did I write down all the things that I know I need to say? Is the dinner table set? Or is it time for breakfast yet? I know things are getting hard, but I know one thing today. I can clearly see us now, the way we were back then. But someday very soon it'll be that way again. I just need to hold your hand when I close my eyes tonight. I know it's going to be alright. I can clearly see it now. For the things I know I'll do, and for the things I know I'll say. Well, don't listen to that man, 'cause soon he'll go away. Until we're joined again, I pray you'll be okay. Our love will take us home. I can clearly see us now. I can clearly see us now, the way we were back then. But someday very soon it'll be that way again. I just need to hold your hand when I close my eyes tonight. I know it's going to be alright. I can clearly see it now.
Are you gonna be okay without me?
Yes, Chuck, we'll be fine.
All right then. Easy go, right on schedule.
I know it's going to be alright. I can clearly see it now.